This screencast walks you through some of the new features we've added in Komodo IDE 4.3. We'll cover abbreviations, which is inserting code snippets by name, replace in files, and unit testing integration. Let's have a look at abbreviations first. Komodo's always had snippets, which are blocks of code or text which can be inserted by clicking on them in the toolbox of the project or assigning a key binding to the specific snippet. If you've got a lot of these, it becomes pretty cumbersome to find the snippet that you want in a long list or to remember what key binding you've assigned to the specific snippet. Abbreviations solves this problem. You type the name of the snippet, hit Control-T or Command-T, and it inserts the contents of the snippet and replaces the name that you typed into the buffer. The chevron characters you see here are called tab stops, and these are special markers that alter the behavior of the tab key when you insert them so that the tab key will always jump to the next tab stop in the buffer. The abbreviations functionality has been available for a while using Jeff G's trigger macro, but when we built it into Komodo, we made it language sensitive. This is the guest book sample file from the Komodo PHP tutorial. We've already added a little HTML snippet called script, and everything within this element should be JavaScript. If we enter the abbreviation class here, hit Control-T, we should get a JavaScript class snippet. Notice that these tab stops have names. The tab stops that have the same name will be populated with whatever you type in the first instance of that named tab stop. If we jump down here to a PHP section, using the same abbreviation, class, hit Control-T, we get a PHP snippet instead. Komodo looks for abbreviations in a special directory called Abbreviations in the toolbox. The samples directory has a few to get you started, and these subdirectories here are for the language-specific abbreviation snippets, and the general folder is for snippets that you want to use globally in any language. If you've ever had to globally change a block of text or a variable name or any other string in a large set of files, you may have been faced with the dilemma of, do I make the changes by hand even though it's going to take ages? Or do I do it programmatically? Or do I use sed if I know how to use sed? Well, Komodo finally has its very own replace in files feature, and it's awesome. Say I want to replace a multi-line block in a bunch of files, in a bunch of HTML files. I select it and hit Control-H. Add that there, make a modification. In this case, something simple. And in the search in Dropbox, we select files, which opens up a number of other fields that we can populate with what we need to. This is the directory in which we want to start our search. We can add more directories there with this little widget. I'm just going to use the current working directory of this file as the starting point. I'm going to include all HTML and XHTML files, and I'm going to exclude a directory called tutorials. Before I do my replace all, I make sure that this confirm option is checked. The confirm option is kind of your seatbelt. It adds a step which lets you check your changes before committing them. Let's see what that looks like. So here it lists all of the files in which a replacement is scheduled to be performed. You can view selected changes in a diff format. This is a unified diff format, so if you want, you can copy and paste this and make it a patch. These marks you can toggle, so if you don't want to include all of those files or all of those changes, and then you can show the marked changes, and just to make ultra sure that you've got everything you want, and then confirm by doing a make changes. And there it goes. Now, the output is all displayed in a Find Results tab. And if you've still made a mistake after using confirm, the confirm seatbelt, you've still got an airbag. That's the undo feature. We just click that, and it undoes all of these replacements that you've done. We've added a unit testing interface that works for Perl, Python, PHP, and Ruby. Let's look at a standard CPAN Perl module with an integrated test suite. I've downloaded data dump and made a project for it. All its tests are contained in the standard T subdirectory, and I've added a new failing test called bad.t. If I wanted to set a global test plan, I can do so under the Tools menu, Tools, Test, Create New Test Plan. But I want to create a project-specific test plan, so I right-click on the project, select Test, Create New Test Plan, give the test a name, select the language, browse to the directory that I want to run it in. And I don't need to specify any additional command line arguments because the unit test system knows how to create a make file and run make test for Perl, so we don't have to add anything else. So run the test. In the Test Results tab, there's a little Run button here. And we see that my new test failed. In the Details window, we can double-click on that failure to open the file at the appropriate line number. Now, if this were a real test, we could then go ahead and use the debugger, step in and find out where the real problem is, but in this particular case, we just fix the test, rerun it, and we see that everything passes. There's more information in the Komodo help for all of these new features, and we hope you find them useful.